Welcome
Okay.
to.
Woo! I mean, you're trying to get your narrator voice on. I see that, but
I see. Welcome to Englewood Camera Shop Talk with Mitch and Kyle.
I'm Kyle.
Today we don't have a guest, so you have to deal with
And,
our soothing voices.
and there's no specific theme.
Today we're going to talk about maybe some social media and like other things that might have to do with that. I hope.
But quick, a message from our sponsors. You know what I like, Mitch? I love baby carrots, and there's nothing more than I like than eating baby carrots with
You're
Hidden Valley Ranch.
you're
Hidden,
so right, Kyle.
Hidden Valley Ranch for all your carrot needs.
I like ranch so much. It's my name on PlayStation.
There we go. Hey, you don't have baby carrots, then just dip some pizza in your ranch. Don't have pizza, dip some breadsticks in your ranch.
You're mocking me, aren't you?
No, this is our live line read. And back to the broadcast. All right. So
Anyways, what we tried to figure out about talking about before we went live is I think something a lot of people do now is to shoot for Instagram instead of just taking a nice picture.
so Mitch, you didn't see this before we started going, but in the description I said, "Ask us a question, and we will respond." And so Amanda that's why there's a question already.
Oh, I didn't have live comments turned on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So Amanda's asking a question. No, it's 5:17 and this is 5. Christopher Gilbert is like, what is going on? If you just tuned into the ranch live line read, that was made up. I'm going to send it to Hidden Valley Ranch, hoping to get an endless supply for the rest of this quarantine. But Amanda wants to know what's the best lens for studio photography. She's torn between the 85 and a 50.
85, man.
Yeah, I say go long.
Just go for it. You got to do the 85.
It depends what you're shooting on, first of all, Amanda, because are you on a full frame sensor? No, she's got a different one. Are you on a full frame sensor, or are you on a crop sensor, or are you on a micro four thirds sensor? Or are you
go with 85?
But yeah, I mean, I like long portrait lenses. I don't own an 85. I own a 135. And so she's on a full frame. So, I would go 85 there or longer.
Well, it's not just the fact that they look pretty for portraits, the longer it is, but I think one of the strengths of a long lens is just your overall variety of shots you can get, which sounds backwards because you can get more, in the frame with a wider lens. But that's the thing. I think you run out of places to go or angles to shoot with a wider lens because you're including so much of the scene. And so if you have something tighter, you can pick out more individual scenes and you can be a little bit more creative that way for longer. So
right. And in this order of what we've got on the screen, I would go 85, 35, 50. That's my opinion. I
agree.
And I think maybe I'm just
oh, she said 135 is up there. Go that route.
Yeah.
If you're asking me, 135 is the bomb. It's the bomb.
Yeah, 135. I feel like it. Maybe it just was. I wasn't aware of how great a 135 was until actually one of our camera store employees. He doesn't work there anymore, but David. He adapted the Canon 135 f2 to his A7R III when it first came out, and he went and shot this like photo shoot, and the flare that just was so soft, right? And whatnot. And I just loved that look. And so I went out and instantly bought that lens and I've never looked back. And so the 135 f2, if you're shooting on a Canon, is great. Amanda, they don't really make a 130. They make an old 135 defocus lens for Nikon, which would work on your 750. It's a really unique look. But Sigma also makes a 35, a 135 1.8, which is super sharp.
Yeah, go with the Sigma. You can, and if you find it used, you can get it for pretty good price. You probably find that lens for under $1,000 used, somewhere around like $800 or $900, I bet.
Yeah, if you can find a 135 used, and And make sure you email the camera shop, staff@englewoodcamera.com, and our manager will email you back and let you know. We might have one used, and it comes with a 6-month warranty. Not that you shouldn't trust people who are selling stuff on their own, but 6-month warranty is nice when it comes to buying used gear. So I used to not buy used gear at all, and then I started buying used gear, and I was like, boom. This Wandy Wexler Westland wants to know if we're from England.
Obviously.
We are from
my American accent this whole time. I'm actually from England.
I tried calling the shop. I tried calling him today, and it went straight to voicemail. So maybe he went on a unexpected camping trip or something. But I'll ask him since he's the only one going in the shop right now. So hopefully he'll get back to you. We are not from England. We are from technically Englewood Camera is in Littleton, Colorado. Which, if we want to go there real quick before we go to our social media stuff,
let's talk about
that. Englewood Camera, we spent a long time trying to figure out when the first time Englewood Camera was like when it became a business, and there was a lot of research, and I did a lot of stuff with like the Secretary of State, looking through all their records and all this stuff, and then nothing really came of it, and so we did some receipts. We did some hearsay from other customers, and we decided that we were just going to round down so we could throw. Actually, this is the year we wanted to throw a big party so a lot of people could gather together in our parking lot, which is probably not going to be allowed anymore. But I think we said 1950, but it was in Englewood before it was in Littleton. It moved to Littleton in 1985, I think, 1984. So that's a long story, very much longer than it could have been.
And before that, it was in England, though.
It was in England.
Yeah, in ancient times.
Yeah. So, thanks for your question, Wandy Westland. Dang. Amanda, go 135.
Go 135. Send it. Be different. Everybody's using the 85.
It's going to give you a very unique look. And if you're like antisocial like me and Mitch, then you get to be further away from the person you're taking photos of.
Actually, a lot of 135s have pretty decent close focus distance.
That's true. Yeah.
Just by nature, the way that those lenses are made. So they do a lot. I like them actually a lot for landscape. It's my favorite landscape lens. So it does double duty for me.
You could do some cool stitches. You can zoom in on the mountains really far away. I like taking it to Rocky Mountain National Park and shoot like crazy weird light on the peaks and stuff like that. Even if it's like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Interesting stuff.
You can get some fantastic defocused foregrounds as well with it that aren't too distracting because they're almost
tilt shift like.
Yeah. So kind of like that.
I mean, or
I could get a tilt shift 135. Sign me up.
Oh, that'd be crazy. And then some of them you can put converters on. You can put a teleconverter on the back of my 135 for Canon. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, the Canon one does.
But yeah.
Can you tell we love the 135?
Yeah. If you don't work out already, Amanda, though, you're gonna have to start working out if you buy that Sigma because it's freaking heavy.
It is, but the 85 is just as heavy.
Yeah, they're both like the same size. You could just buy both of them.
Yeah.
If 24-hour ever lets you cancel your gym membership during this pandemic instead of just charging you $40 a month for something you can't use.
Salt.
But we wanted to talk about social media and its effect on photography and photographers and whatnot. And I think
how many pictures do you not post that are good but aren't gonna look good on a little Instagram feed?
Yeah.
Like all the time. That happens to me all the time. I take a picture of something in the frame would look fantastic if it was printed on a wall or something like that. But if you, as soon as the second you put it on a really compressed Instagram feed, it's not going to get that same effect. Yeah.
I did a photo contest with a magazine that I was working at. And we had people like they had to not apply, but enter the contest by using a hashtag on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And then we picked winners and I asked for those original files so we can print them into a little gallery. Dude, I had some of the worst files that I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, wow, these were shot for Instagram. It was like Instagram, unless they maybe screenshot their Instagram. I don't know. But I think Instagram also makes a lot of people post photos that look really great, but in the real world, they're not that good. And then it comes to like, now you're comparing yourself to someone else's photo. Like there's a lot of negative things that come with like Instagram, and you could do like, we could talk for hours about it, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes Instagram is very negative for photography. Actually, it probably has some positive effects because a lot of people get gigs through Instagram.
Yeah, I think it's very yin and yang.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't want to use it, but you do.
Well, it's helped so many people,
Right.
and it also helps a lot of camera industries too. Like it brought a huge popularity back to film, because everybody wants to be the cool kid on Instagram with film now. So there's a lot of I think there's more benefits, to be honest, than there are like downsides. But the downsides just have like kind of hidden damaging effects,
right?
And a lot of that is just the pressure to perform better, and then you're constantly comparing yourself to others, and that's got to be the worst one, is comparing yourself to everybody else, and especially if you're on a different experience level too. If you just got into photography and you saw somebody just killing it, making landscapes look like they're from another planet, and you're like, how am I ever gonna be that good or something? Or it's like maybe you don't live in that part of the world or something, and you just don't have access to that, or you're not constantly at a concert every week or something like that, and maybe you're just, so it can be discouraging, but it also is a great inspiration too. If you don't look at it that way, if you don't look at it as a comparison, you could see some unique things, and maybe you'll look at different types of environments in a different way. So
yeah, I think that's true. You can like find some inspiration for sure from Instagram, whether it be
and with that comes a lot of straight up copying though.
Right. And so then you lose all originality because you could like go to the same exact spot. And that's what I think really Instagram screwed up, is landscape photography and these really awesome, beautiful places. And so that's why we had like, why am I drawing? I always forget his name. Burke. Alex Burke. There we go. I wasn't calling Chris, but we had Alex Burke on, and his stuff is just so unique because it's things you just don't see on Instagram. You don't see from all these landscape photographers.
Well, it's also his stuff. He puts so much effort into going the distance to find those places, which 99% of people that are going to a tagged location on Instagram are stepping out of their car, and 25 feet away from the parking lot is Bear Lake,
exactly. Or Garden of the Gods, kind of like, and it's cool to shoot those cool places because they're easy to access, and that's the perk of living in Colorado, is you can literally step outside of your car and walk 25 yards and you're at a lake that has beautiful views.
But it's got enough places that are not that accessible too.
Right, exactly.
So if you're dedicated to not being like the Instagram trends, you just have to put a little more work in, a couple extra steps.
Right. Mitch, you didn't say anything about my shirt.
Oh yeah, nice shirt.
Thank you.
Appreciate the extra flash today.
Aloha. It's warm out, man.
It is hot.
I went on 2 walks today, and both times I broke a sweat. So that means
that means it's over, right?
That means I need to either hit the gym more, go on a couple more runs, or it's just like the sun's beating down on you. We were talking about this earlier. My roommate and I started a 5 points wiffle ball league. It's not open enrollment because of, obviously it happens in our backyard and social distancing. I'm losing in the series 2-1. But go Cats. Go Cats. But that's his team name. But I think I've sweat more than playing wiffle ball than I have like working out. It's weird. I don't, it's getting hot out. That's all.
That's impressive.
Mr. McKillop wants to know when you're opening again, and sir, that is the question of all questions.
TBD.
TBD. We don't know yet. But when we do, we're gonna, I'm I'm gonna write it in the sky.
Mike, did you watch our last episode with the other Mike with photogrammetry? I hope you did. I thought that was going to be something you would like.
Yeah.
Don Gardner says, LOL, I do a lot of landscape photography and I hate Instagram. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. There's times when I hate Instagram. You look at it and you're just like, you know what? Is this helping?
There were times to be on Instagram before it got huge, and then if you built your following before like the before the gold rush.
Yes, gold rush is a good way to put it.
Then you made it, and you were like Instagram elite.
Yeah.
But your mom says there's it's called Insta_repeat, and if you go there, it's the same picture like from other photographers. I think a life goal is to not end up on that Instagram. But
yeah, I mean, if you think like, what's the first one that comes to your mind? For me, when I think Instagram, the first picture that comes to my mind is those stupid ones where they have a girlfriend like walking their boyfriend through some beautiful location.
Yeah, remember when that was like original?
Yeah,
so original.
Or a canoe.
Canoes are the worst. Yeah, a canoe. If you went, it's like, oh, I went to British Columbia, and all you took was a picture of a canoe, like everyone else. Then you wasted a trip to British Columbia or Banff or something like that.
Yeah, it's like, but I bet it's like sometimes now people like literally go on those trips just to get that picture.
Yeah, my roommate was telling me that he had a girl come to Colorado to visit, and all she wanted to do was like sit at a bonfire and go skiing, but she didn't go. She went skiing to take a picture with her skis, and then she didn't ski, and she wanted to have a bonfire not because she enjoyed bonfires, but because that's what you do in Colorado, I guess. And so she took a picture in front of the bonfire
because that's what gets the likes.
That's what you got. Do it for the gram.
Do it for the gram.
Do it for the gram.
Gotta love that little orange notification.
Oh man, people are addicted to likes and stuff like that. So I mean, it gets me pumped when a lot of people like my stuff. I had to turn my notifications off.
So that's why whatever happened to, remember we were talking about this like, gosh, feels like a year ago, and you said that they're gonna
hide the likes
on Instagram, and I feel like that just never.
I can't see other people's likes. I can only see my likes. But on the Camera Store Instagram, which I run, I can see everyone else's likes. So I just go.
Yeah, I thought I could still see everybody else's likes.
I can. You can? Oh, see, they haven't changed it over. My coworker at the Rockies, Matt, he can see everyone else's likes too. So
here's a picture for Kodak of a truck. It's kind of nice, but like 3,000.
Yeah,
right there.
Boom. See, I can't see that. So
maybe Instagram just likes me more, or maybe they hate me more than you, and they want me to.
Yeah, they want you to be addicted. Yeah. So
hey, if you live in Utah, speaking of that, this just popped up. If you live in Utah, you're gonna get some F-35s going over your
F-35 flyover.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty sweet.
We need to do this all the time. Hey, Air Force, Navy, do this all the time. I want flyover, the biggest morale booster ever. That's the first time I felt like happy in so long. When those F-16s flew over my head.
I was cussing up a storm as they passed. I was like, yeah, whoa. It was just like me by myself at Coors Field cursing off the top of the rock pile. It was great.
I wish I didn't get a chance to ask when we had the Broncos photographer on. I wanted to ask him what his favorite flyover was.
Ooh.
And
I don't know. I like when jets fly over, but sometimes because it's fast and it's like, but sometimes they have
Blackhawks
like in formation. It's pretty sweet too. So we've only had
a lot of. I think the coolest one I ever saw at a sporting event. I was at a NASCAR race in Illinois.
Yeah,
and it was a B-2 bomber.
Oh, nice.
But most NASCAR tracks, the seats are on just one side of the track, so the jets can usually come straight at you, and you get a longer period of time to see them.
Right.
And so, since it was a B-2, which is a really like thin, low-profile plane, you didn't really know it was there until it was like right on top of you, because it's just this little thin line in the sky, and all of a sudden it's just this giant thing over you. It's such a menacing plane.
Right.
So
cool. They have some cool planes that come out to the Centennial Airport every once in a while.
Yeah.
I've never gone out to take photos, but whenever they're there, all of our customers are super jazzed.
I go there every day now because that's right where I pick up my truck for work. And there's a really cool, there's a road that goes right past the runway that we should go to. It's got all the mountains directly behind the runway, and there's no real obstructions or anything like that.
Sure.
And there's plenty of room to be there without being in anybody's way. So
yeah,
cool.
Interesting.
Does anybody else do aviation photography?
Aviation photography. We were looking at a cool Instagram, whatnot. You showed me. Do you want me?
Well, yeah.
I just want to save it in case he comes on the show.
Yeah, we'll save that. We're trying to get a cool guest on the show who takes really good pictures of planes. So,
speaking of, do you judge people by their followers, like how cool they are on Instagram? Like,
no,
this guy's got like almost 50,000 Instagram followers. Does that make him like a good photographer?
No, definitely. That's like the last thing I look at is your followers.
Really?
It's instantly like the first thing I see or the first thing I look at is your overall feed.
Right.
And scroll down and look at your feed, and then if you're and then honestly, like a lot of times I don't even look at how many followers you have because it's.
What I like to do is look at the followers. Then I go to like some of their more popular posts and see the like ratio. So I like to see like how many people are liking their posts compared to the followers they have.
Yeah.
It's kind of a good way to see whether their followers are real or not. And then, and if they actually have an engaging crowd, I always shoot for like, 10 to like 12% of my followers per like post. I want them to like my post. That's kind of like my goal when I post.
Yeah. I used to take, what were you were mentioning just before we came on, something about the posting images into like articles and stuff like that. That actually, I'm confused about that because like, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but I used to take a lot of pictures of Jeeps and trucks and 4x4s and stuff like that. And so there's like, I don't know how many thousands of
feature accounts,
Jeep Instagram pages. And
right.
I constantly get tagged of like somebody using my photo in like a new bot run Jeep account or something like that. And it's
right.
I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
But I mean, you were saying that people can just.
Well, a judge ruled that it's illegal to embed your image from Instagram because you can do that into an article, and you don't get paid. It's like free because basically Instagram is since it's on their platform.
Yeah, so I think we all like sort of knew that when we signed up for it, but it's also like
but it's like still so now nasty, if you don't want it to happen, make your profile private. But then I feel like that's the point.
Or then you get the watermark argument. That
right.
Can go either way.
Watermark on Instagram just looks ridiculous.
I think it can be done in a tasteful way, but it's hard. That's a hard one. It's like
I hate watermarks across like the whole image. It just like looks so bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it's across the whole image, it's
people
bad.
Are so scared of but the Instagram file is so small.
Yeah, and and the hard part is
screenshot.
If you just use a watermark on like the corner of the image, it's so easy to just crop it out or remove it. And
usually your image doesn't have a very important part of the image like right in the front.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tricky, man. Instagram, social media. I've been posting to Twitter more, and it's weird because they're letting you upload really good resolution photos to Twitter, and they look great. And I don't think of Twitter as like a image platform, but I love looking at photos now on Twitter because they look so nice.
I never use it. My mom is on it more than anyone in the world. How do photos look on Twitter, Mom? Do they look as good as Kyle says?
I think they look at it. They just did a whole upgrade. You can literally download a 4K version of a photo off Twitter.
Really?
Yeah. So
damn, all kinds of switching going on. Now I got like Canon making me want the R5.
There's a lot of photographers on Twitter. So
you're making me go Twitter out. The problem with Twitter for me is it takes ages to load on my phone.
Really? You just gotta you have to use it more often. That way it's just there.
I guess.
But I like Twitter photos and in the photo community on Twitter. There's a big like sports media community on Twitter, so I like following that. But I'm sure there's
I can see that.
There's a Twitter for everything. There's gardening Twitter. There's political Twitter. Obviously, there's outdoors. There's Storm Chaser Twitter.
Storm Chaser Twitter sounds fun.
Yeah, so it's awesome. She says, "Hey, Lucio," or does that mean eh?
No, that's good.
Okay, it's like shoots, bro. I mean, I would know. I have a Hawaiian shirt on. I'm from the ninth island of Las Vegas, so they call Vegas the ninth island because a lot of Hawaiians move there.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Why?
So, because it's I don't really know why. They like the California hotel and casino. It's like Hawaiian themed on the inside with a great Hawaiian cafe. They'll give you spam musubis any day at any time of the day.
Have you been to Hawaii?
I've never been to Hawaii, and I have like 2 really good friends from Hawaii. So it would be like very cheap for me to get to Hawaii. But
I always thought Hawaii should be the last place I ever go because it just seems too perfect. And I feel like if I go there, everywhere else is gonna. Sorry,
you don't deserve perfect.
No, I just think if I go there, then everywhere else is gonna not.
It can be like okay.
I thought I could have just gone to Hawaii and.
Yeah, well, it depends what island you go to. They're from Oahu, so it's not Maui.
Yeah.
And so it's not like the main islands is Hawaii, right? The main island is I don't know. I'm getting out of my zone. Yeah. I like geography, but they're from Oahu and that's a smaller island. So and I think it's a lot more pretty. So, but then there's like really tiny islands.
You just pissed off all the different islands.
Yeah. Well, no, there's other islands that
each one was more pretty.
You're like a puddle jumper, or you got to take a ferry or boat there. There's some islands.
Hawaiian islands are pretty. Everyone, they're all equally pretty.
One's got really bad traffic, I heard though.
Oof, except that one.
Everyone on YouTube's gonna be like, "Look at that dude in a Hawaiian t-shirt just spitting blasphemy."
Well, we are experts in what we're talking about.
It's true.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Anyways,
an asterisk in the comments, like whatever Mitch and Kyle say is accurate. Hold on, it's time for another break from our sponsors. Mitch, what makes me? Well, you got one. Go for it.
No, I was going to get back to photography, like what our show is about.
Okay.
I was just gonna. I don't know. I'll just start talking about gear.
Gear.
Yeah, because I'm excited about the R5. I don't know that I actually want it.
I read an article about like how the R5 just put the A7S III in the grave.
That's a tough one, man. That's what's crazy about Sony is they're so secretive. I'd be really peeved if they let a bunch of Sony photographers go over to Canon and then like 2 months later they're like, hey, we just released the same thing for $1,000 less.
Yeah.
And then you're like, and they can, Sony could do it. They have the same level of tech, I think. That's the weird thing is the R5 is like just a higher resolution A9, it seems, to an extent. So it's like I feel like they could do it. They did. I feel like the A9 too, they kind of
skimmed
it. It was a little underwhelming. I think they made necessary improvements, but I thought that camera could have waited a year before it came out.
Yeah, they could have added something to it. But I think they wanted to do it before the Olympics, which now makes them look funny because
that's a big bummer too.
Bad timing.
But I don't know. I guess this is the outcome of competition that we all wanted. We wanted a better camera from Canon. Sony pushed them, and here it is. We finally have a result. So I'm excited for it. I don't know that it's necessarily going to actually make me switch. I kind of feel like I should get an X100V instead, and that might actually encourage me to not buy more gear.
Right. Just be like, this is all I need.
This is all I need, and I'll just not buy any more lenses, which might be refreshing. But
yeah, Chris is over here like, do it.
I know. I kind of think that might be the way to go. But but for anybody that's a Canon shooter, I just think you should all be really excited about that R5 because it's seems like it's going to be fantastic. I didn't get too excited about it until I saw the actual official page on Canon's website for it, and which meant that really sealed the deal that it was real.
Right.
It still kind of felt, I was like, everybody's like 90, it's confirmed, everything's confirmed. But I was like, it's not really confirmed until we see it.
Right.
And so
someone has it in their hand or you figure out how many megapixels it is.
Yeah,
It's usually something like they put out right away is the megapixel sensor.
Yeah, it all seemed a little like I don't know. Is it wrong of me to think it was all too good to be true?
It seems kind of too good to be true. There's got to be like there has
to be we were talking about this before. There has to be a but.
A but, like there was no but yet, so we're waiting for the but.
I hope it's not the battery life.
Oh yeah. Oh, but the battery lasts 180 shots or something.
Well,
like that.
I was kind of worried about that because it looks like they haven't mentioned a new battery. It looks like it's going to be the same battery. LP6. And I guess maybe I'm ignorant about it, but like I don't think the battery life on the R is amazing.
Right. Maybe they'll make a souped up EOS or LPE6.
That'd be nice.
Battery. Like they had LPE6 and then they went LPE6N.
Yeah.
And now maybe they'll go like LPE6E extra.
I hope they have like a revamped battery and I know they've been doing a lot of work with just more efficient processors to help with that. Cause like the X100, when I tried it, that was the whole thing. They didn't give it a new battery, which was like the only thing that wasn't improved, but the battery life did seem better.
Right.
Like noticeably better. Mm-hmm. And they said that's just because of the newer processing power that was a little more efficient. So, and I think they did the same thing with the they even stretched out the W battery pretty far on the later models of the 6000 series cameras from Sony, like the A6400 and the 6100 last way longer.
Yeah.
With much brighter and better panels too than like the A6000 or some of the older E-mount cameras. So maybe it's more efficient, and that's, I guess, if they have that whole 30 frames per second full frame 8K with autofocus, you would imagine it's got some like freight train processor in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's crazy. I just hope it's like literally the perfect camera, and then we can all be happy and go, that's the one, buy that one.
Exactly. Yeah, it's nice when they give you a reason to be like, this is it.
Yeah, I want to be excited again.
Exactly. Man, hopefully they come out with more stats soon so we can talk about it.
I know. I want to see it. I want to see a video.
Yeah, or like I want one of those influencers, YouTube influencers, to talk my ear off about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone's been using it in the wild. So.
Yeah, probably.
I want them to come out. Not that I could afford it, but I want Canon to come out with a 400-2.8 for their mirrorless line. That's what I want. But they're not really
going to be one of the latest. Do you think they're going to follow the same kind of timeline that Sony did? Do you think it's going to be like one of the last lenses that comes out? I hope not. I hope it's like very soon. Although, doesn't it work kind of still pretty well with the adapter?
Yeah, I haven't tried it, so I'm interested now that I have the 400 in my bag.
But they have a newer 400 that they just came out with. They have like a lighter version.
2 newer versions than the one I have because mine feels like a RPG.
Do you know if
bazooka?
Do you know if they're linear motors or not?
I don't.
I think that's what makes all the difference. I feel like is those different the linear style focusing motors. That's what gets kind of annoying when you have even if it's an EF lens and you put an older lens that has a regular like a non-linear motor, and you just have this focus motor turning in there all the time because they shoot continuously like all the time,
right?
And that's just constantly moving, and I just don't think they were meant to do that, so they are a little bit slower because of it.
Yeah,
but I think that newer one might be
so lighter weight. I'm on there. I'm on the website right now. Let's see here. Super spectra, air sphere coatings, backlit conditions, 5 stops of image stabilization, USM, a manual override focus, focusing ring. Doesn't tell you.
I think if it has a manual override focus, it's not linear,
right?
Because I think that rules it out right there because that's a mechanical setup. So,
right. So you can manually focus, I guess.
So yeah, we need a focus by wire Canon RF 400-2.8 now. Or Kyle's gonna revolt.
Jump ship. I'm gonna jump ship.
I want to use the Sony 400 so bad.
Yeah, it's so light. I'm gonna go shoot sports with like a Panasonic. No, the 400, the Canon 400, I believe, is lighter than the Sony 400.
Oh, the GM?
Yeah, which is
Wow.
great. And then the 600 Canon is lighter than the Sony 600. It's nuts how like, I mean, you could barely tell, but
yeah,
the fact that Canon was able to make something lighter for their DSLR than Sony made for mirrorless body is pretty nuts.
That's good though.
Yeah,
I'm glad. The lighter things get, the happier we'll all be.
Yeah, I hear the new 600 f4 for Canon though isn't it? Well, maybe it was just a bad version. I was from the guy I was talking to, but it wasn't as sharp as his old 600. So he wasn't happy about that. But yeah, so tomorrow we have a. Is he like a shoe-in? Is he for sure now?
Yeah. Tomorrow we have my neighbor Leo,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a drone pilot, but like a very skilled racing drone pilot. And
Nice.
You can, with those drones, you can do more than what like a DJI drone can do, and you can do more. You're free to do aerobatics as you please, and you can mount a stabilized GoPro or some other stabilized action camera to it and get some really, really cool, smooth, unique aerial footage with that. So excited to look at that. He does, I don't know if we're going to talk about any of his macro work, but he does some insect macro work, which is kind of cool. It looks like he does a really good job at it. So but yeah, excited to talk to him tomorrow about that, because that's something I've always wanted to get into too, with drones, because you could like fly straight up a mountainside or something and it would look really cool.
Right. Well, you saw that video I showed you of the cash register building, and he just like zoomed down.
Yeah,
he went by the bell and stuff, like by the clock, and they did some cool sound engineering along with it, and it was amazing. And that was shot with a drone, like a racing drone with a Hero 8 on it.
Imagine if they had that kind of stuff for like the Transformers movies.
Oof.
And they could just like superimpose the Transformers while they get that like actual footage.
Yeah,
that's sweet.
That would be pretty nuts. And then on Wednesday we have an ex-employee of the camera shop who does elopement photography, wedding photography. Her name is Meg O'Neill, and she's going to be on Wednesday. So she's going to talk about, I think she just relaunched, or she just launched a new website. So they'll do like the plan. They do the planning and everything. It's pretty impressive. So,
oh God, that just reminded me that my website is like halfway the provided images on Squarespace.
Oh really? So you're just using someone else's website?
No, I was trying to redo it, and like they give you these like sample templates, and like half of it is filled out right now, and the rest of it is all like food photography I didn't take because it was like a template for like a restaurant website or something.
Sure.
And I like totally forgot that it's like that right now.
So don't go to mitchmillerphotography.com.
Yeah, don't go there. You probably didn't want to go there before I was doing that anyway. There was just a bunch of stuff from Illinois, but that's cool. So we've got some exciting stuff coming up this week, and we'll talk to you guys same time tomorrow.
This has been Camera Shop Talk. Thanks to our sponsors today. I'm seeing what I'm trying to do there. I'm trying to find a sponsor, Mitch, besides the Camera Shop. You know,
let's get sponsored by Chick-fil-A. That's something I can get behind.
Yeah, I mean they're not lacking any business. They're like hiring people right now. The fastest drive-through known to man.
Yep, feeding America, Chick-fil-A.
Feeding him aloha. And then Paul wants to know, Mitch, are you trying to redo your?
Well, I'm trying, Paul. I'm trying to redo. Paul gave me a hard time because on my site I said I would try to take the best picture of your thing, and he said that.
Try. Yeah, man,
try.
You gotta be positive. So, people want to know.
Yeah. So
like, I'm gonna take you should put. I'm gonna take a better picture than Paul Gomez ever would. So hire me instead of Paul.
That's what it's gonna say.
There we go.
Sponsored by Chick-fil-A.
Watch what you ask for, Paul. So, all right, we're out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place, 5:15. Right here on the Englewood Camera Facebook and YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.